tonight we got to listen to a very special speech. I think it's TGIF's first underage speech. Emily Ma is, of course, our dear president's daughter. And something I thought about while watching Emily's, effectively her icebreaker, was how we often say really great writers are really avid readers. And tonight what I thought about was Emily has sat in so many of our meetings this past year, and I feel like all of the good kind of speech structures and tips just somehow like sinked into her brain and really made it onto stage. For someone who's 16, like I remember giving speeches at 16, it did not go that well. Tonight, what I loved was the structure, very beautifully done. What was interesting was, even before she started speaking, she already started to bring us into her topic. What was her feedback tonight? The speech that she loved? I'm on the way down. What was her speech about? Great-grandmother. You already started to kind of prime the audience with your story. And I really love how you kind of set up an introduction before you even start talking. And then to get your structure so nice from the interactions, I can't look at my wife, she's already starting to cry because it's too touching. This is going to be an interesting next term. But the interactions you shared, to the turn with her decline in health, to that moment of crisis where this night is silent, you can't sleep, to talking to your father. And then the upswing, the dream with the grandmother. And then conclusion. Our stories, they all begin with once upon a time, but all stories have an ending. Really nicely structured, very clear, good dramatic structure, and just told really nicely. In Toastmasters, we often emphasize body language, we emphasize moving around the stage. You stood here and just told your story, and that's beautiful. I think later on, there's things like body language. You'll work on it, it's okay. The one thing I will encourage you is to continue to internalize the ideas you want to share. I know the hand technique helps sometimes, but this is your story. I think the only thing you had to worry about was how you want to tell your story, what words you want to do, what words you want to choose to get the story across as powerful as possible. Now, the words you used, she started to breathe more heavily, or heavier and heavier, getting worse and worse. I could feel that you were very intentional with your word choice. So your next step is try to get your notes down to just a few points, a few sentences that you really want to drive home, and then let yourself just tell the story. Because what that'll help you do is keep your pacing going. One thing, the structure is good, but I felt like there were times you wanted to increase the pace. Grandma's talking to you. It's a happy moment. Talk a little faster. Things are bad. Talk a little slower. But that pace is hard to control when you're also battling the notes on your hand. Just fix this little bit. Start to get yourself comfortable internalizing the stories and focusing on a few key sentences. That pacing is going to match the structure, and everybody is going to be so touched. I guarantee it. Great job tonight.